Alright, welcome back to the channel. I got an interesting one for you today. So, yeah, I'm just going to say it. This is the Shiznit. Right, you heard it. This is the Shiznit. The model name of this knife is the Schrade Shiznit. I think they're running out of material. They're running out of ideas. Oh, what should we call this one? Oh man, that's the Shiznit. Oh, that's the name. We're gonna use that as the name. Oh, that's so bad. I can't even imagine how they came up with this. But it is, in my opinion, for a small, sleek, thin profile type knife. Yeah, sure. We'll call it the Shiznit. But that's what this is. This is the model Shiznit. Aluminum handle scales, which is great. It's slightly textured. And it's got a finger actuator right here. But first, you can't deploy it. You got to put this little button in there. You see that little red dot right here? Red is dead. So that means it's ready to be deployed. It's got a kukri styled blade profile. It's very interesting. It's AUS 8 steel. At least that's what the video says. I really like how the finger actuator for this assisted knife disappears. It's right there. You can still see it, but it disappears in the handle. And it's got a very simple yet durable liner lock. So here's the finger actuator, but here's the weird thing. You can deploy it with the thumb stud too. But the finger actuator doesn't go away. You have to kind of physically push that down. It's a very interesting knife, very different, very ergonomic, I have to say. And I'll get into that as soon as we get down to our specs. So let's go ahead and get into it. See how much this bad boy weighs. So if you're a fan of Schrade, which I am, I do like Schrade knives. I don't have too many of them, but I do find them quite nifty, especially for the price point. So let's see how much this thing weighs. Weighs in at 3.80 ounces, so under 4 ounces. That's always good. Under 5 ounces is even better. So we'll go ahead and go into the length of the blade. So the blade length is 3.5 inches with an overall 7.5. A little over, maybe okay. 7.7. Excuse me, 7 3/4. But close to about 7.5, if you want to get that down. And of course, it does have steel liners nestled underneath these aluminum handle scales. A very interesting pocket clip right here. It's raised in a very interesting manner. So that's always different. It's got light jimping right here in the corner area of this back end right here. So if you want to go all ninja style on it and throw it like that, it's actually made to where that feels okay. You can actually use that for that particular reason if you wanted to. And then of course, the ergonomics on this thing are abysmal. It's really hard to explain, but it feels like it's molded to you. Feels good, at least in my hand anyways. Doesn't have too much of a tip, but I mean, you could do a little bit of stabbing and jabbing with that if you really wanted to. AUS 8 steel. It's got all that interesting information on there. It is quite sharp. I haven't really used this for anything either, but it is a very interesting knife. It's a bit thin, but it works. And we'll go ahead and get to how wide this thing is. You're looking at 11.0 on the handle, and on the blade you're looking at a 2.2. So if that doesn't bother you, I don't know what should. This is just one of those simple kind of EDC type knives. But yeah, so on the Amazon web site, you're looking at $23.50 on this knife. So this is cheaper, pretty decent. It's like a $25 knife right here. It is the Schrade SCHA13B Shiznit, 7.7 inches. Stainless steel assisted opening folding knife with 3.4 inch kukri blade and aluminum handle for survival, tactical, and EDC. Yes, that is the title on the Amazon. You gotta love the Amazon titles. They're like a paragraph long. But yeah, so, little guy. Aussate steel, kukri style kind of blade. And the one thing I really like about this knife, when you deploy it, this flat area down here, this little flat area right here, actually sits right in the meat of your hand right here as you deploy this knife using the finger actuator. It feels like it was meant for that to be like that, so you can. It's very interesting. When you deploy this knife, it feels like it's meant to be deployed that way, meant to be held this way, and this way. The ergos are extremely interesting for, a cheaper than $25 knife. So, I don't know. I don't really have anything bad to say about this knife other than the fact that the price is just so cheap on it. And even at that, I don't even think that's a bad thing to say. It is a bit thin for my taste as far as the blade goes. It is a bit thin, but that's still a lot of blade right there. That's still a lot of metal. And I mean, yeah, there could be some jimping up here that could make a little bit of a difference if you really wanted to, but it still feels pretty good. It really does. It feels pretty good. At least in the hand anyways. It's a very interesting knife. I don't care much for this locking thing right here. I mean, that makes it to where you cannot, I wonder if you could lock it. No, you can't lock it unless the blade is disengaged. Okay, I was thinking I could lock it while it was still deployed. No, you have to wait till it's not deployed, and then, yeah, that's only just a safety. It's just an extra measurement of safety right here. So you cannot deploy the knife unless you really, really push down that little itty-bitty grain of rice that is that little button. So, interesting lanyard hold. Kind of goes with the shape of the knife. If that matters at all. It doesn't matter to me, but it's a very interesting knife overall for being so cheap. So let's go in and see how sharp it really is. Bust out some. I got a rubber band here, so we'll see how well that cuts. Rubber band. Wow, I was just trying to. Okay, so that's pretty damn sharp. So it just cut right through that, and I was just trying to put the rubber band around the blade. So that's pretty damn sharp. Let's go ahead and move on to the paper. Yeah, that's pretty sharp. Yeah, that's pretty good. That. There we go. And the tip, this thing really kind of had, to me, the belly is really prominent on this blade. So it's all up here. So you don't really have too much tip. I mean, you have that, but it's not too much of a tip in my personal opinion. But I guess that all really just depends on you, if that matters to you or not. This is more of a tool knife than a self-defense blade, but hey, I heard that if you can take a life with a blade of grass, then you can surely use this for some damage. But yeah, so I just really, really think it's a really nice knife for the price. You got that finger actuator there for that self-deploying, that really smooth kind of. And like I said, that right there kind of makes a difference when you're deploying this knife. It gives you a little bit more control. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, Schrade, if you're interested in Schrade, I do have a few other Schrades that I'd like to put on this channel, so stay tuned for that. Go ahead and slash that like button and stab that subscribe if you haven't done so already. Help out the channel, and I do appreciate all the support you've given this channel. Leave down in the comments down below whether or not you're familiar with Schrade or their material. Tell me what you got if you have any. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.